Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt-out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today we're going to talk about comparison, and it's such an interesting concept is comparison. I spoke about it in a live session on Insight Timer recently, and the more I spoke about it, the more I just thought, well, this is just utterly made up. The idea that we're supposed, our lives and our everything is supposed to be anything like anybody else's is just, it's actually ridiculous, really. And I don't mean to say that without compassion for anybody who is caught up in comparison. And trust me, I've been there big time. I remember once, actually, when I used to go to yoga class, and I used to go when I was poorly, when I had my burnout. I used to go to the yoga class that was basically for pregnant ladies and old ladies. It was really gentle yoga class, and I would find myself watching out. Was I in a better stretchy position than the old lady next to me who was like 75? Or the pregnant woman who could barely move, and comparing myself with people like that, like, all the time. And I think it's just a natural. So first of all, that's a natural human thing to do. There is nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you if you're doing it, because I think minds just compare, don't they? And there's safety in that. There's safety in comparison. There's safety in, oh, there's a rustling bush that, yesterday when that was a rustling bush, I need to keep that comparison in my head, because yesterday the rustling bush had a saber-toothed tiger behind it. Now today it might be that there's just a bunny behind the rustling bush that I can eat. But I need to be comparing this environment with that environment, and I need to be comparing all the time. I need to be doing that all the time in order to stay safe. But of course, that creates this this way a human mind functions, which now is being misused, I guess, unconsciously by many of us, including me, and has us look at somebody else's life and relationship and everything and just think, why isn't mine like that? Now, when I was younger, there were places to compare myself. I used to spend a lot of time comparing my body with other people's body, because I didn't particularly like my body when I was younger. And I would spend a lot of time in comparison there. Now, there were only a few places I could do that. I could do it with the television and films, at the cinema mostly, and I could do it with the odd magazine. But there was there wasn't, and other people I actually knew, of course, but there wasn't a massive source of places where I could do the comparison thing. Like now, it's just everywhere, isn't it? Somebody's having a better holiday than me. Somebody's got a better car than me. Somebody's life looks happier than me. Somebody's there with their smiley partner, and I don't have I'm not smiling with my partner today. And as we scroll on these places, I'm talking about social media, obviously, we keep seeing these things that look like people have got a better life than us, because they're smiling and they look like, there's a nice car. They're smiling next to their nice car. And I think what this does as well is it feeds into, which of course is underpinning the whole thing, it feeds into the outside-in misunderstanding. So we're going through life and we're looking at all these happy people with their amazing lives and amazing relationships and everything else, and we think they look happy, and therefore if I have that thing they've got, I will also look happy. I will also feel happy. So we're looking as human beings all the time for a better feeling. That's our mission, I would say. That's our species mission, is to look for a better feeling, to experience better feelings. So of course, when we see somebody stood smiling and happy next to their car, we think, oh, well, if I have that car, I'll be smiling and happy. And right now I don't feel particularly happy. So I'm going to, I'm going to work my fingers to the bone to try and get that car so that I can feel happy too. Or I'm going to do something about my relationship because my relationship doesn't look as happy as other people's relationships, or whatever it is. It's so rooted in a lie, so many lies, is comparison. Like lie number one, that your life is supposed to be like anybody else's. Lie number two, that you're going to feel the way that person appears to be feeling. That is lie number three, of course. That you're going to feel the way that person feels when you have that thing. And lie number three, that person even feels that way, and that person is even having the experience that you're seeing they appear to be having. I mean, particularly on social media, because that is, I would say, where probably the majority of us are doing the majority of our comparison. And I'm going to share a little story here that, I remember once being at a poolside. I went on a holiday on my own when I split from my husband to Portugal, to Vila Moura, a very beautiful place. And I was sat by the pool one day, and a lady came with a little child, just her and the child, and she had all the inflatable stuff, and little like, I don't know, inflatable animal ring round the little girl's waist, and little girl's gorgeous, and little pink hair in bunches, she's absolutely gorgeous. And Mum kind of put her in the pool and then just took loads of photos and, splashed her with water, like the little girl was laughing and smiling. And then she literally got the little girl out of the pool and went away. She didn't play in the pool with her. She didn't spend time with her little girl in the pool splashing and messing about. She took photographs of it and then walked away. Now, I don't know. I've got a story, of course, about why she was doing that, but I suspect that was to share the joy of her holiday on social media and with other people that she knows. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. So, that is the thing. That is, line number three about comparison, is this isn't real. It isn't real. What you're seeing, the filter of it all, is showing you an illusion of this joy and happiness and contentment that people have got, they just haven't got. And the reason, of course, they don't have it is because the stuff on the outside doesn't create it. That feeling that you're looking for isn't out there. It's in here. It's inside you. I've got my hand on my heart right now because it's inside you. And I promise you that for me has been, I think, probably one of the most life-changing things about this understanding, is to know that no matter what happens, no matter what is going on around me, no matter how, emotionally up and down I might be or whatever, if I just do that, if I just take a breath, if I just feel my feet on the floor, that feeling I'm seeking outside of me is just there. It's just there. You don't need any of those other people's things. You don't need their life. You don't need their relationship. You don't need their holidays or anything else. Because you are perfect just exactly as you are. And that feeling you're looking for is inside you. It isn't outside. Now, seeing that is just life-changing. Because then you can go on social media and you can look at other people's lives and just go, oh, that's nice. And you might look at something somebody's doing, but without the comparison, just from a place, oh, that's a really, like I follow a few accounts on Instagram that are travel people, or people who are travelling in the motorhomes like me, and they will share video of, say, a beautiful waterfall in the Lake District or a nice beach in Wales or whatever. And I'll say to Bruce, I kind of save the post and go, yeah, let's go there. It looks beautiful. But I don't care whether I do or not. I've got a massive list on Keep, on Google Keep, of places we might go to. We might not go to them all. But wow, just to be having the information that those places are available. There's some stunning places in this country that a lot of us miss out on because we think we need to go somewhere else. And I'm stood here right now recording this with a beach literally 20 meters away in Aberdeen. Might be 30 metres. Not very good at measuring distance with my eyes. But it's all there, like, wow. And for me to see that, to see a place somebody's suggesting visiting and me go, oh yeah, that looks like fun. I'd like to do that. It's got a lightness to it that's not, oh, look at that person doing that thing. I wish I was doing that. Oh, my life isn't like that. Which feels horrible. And there's the clue that your body's always going to give you, it feels horrible. Why does it feel horrible? Because it is horrible. Because you're thinking. Not because the situation is horrible, or not because you're supposed to have the life that somebody else has got, but just because that kind of thinking brings about an uncomfortable feeling. That's just what it does. Just what it does. So notice that, and all this is ever an encouragement to do is to notice, to look in that direction, to see, when I go into comparison, how awful does that feel? How awful does it feel? It doesn't feel good, does it? And then we can just gently ease ourselves back to connect to what's already inside us. Love, peace, wisdom. And our ongoing capacity to create the illusion that we're not that. Jack Pansky's beautiful quote I love very much. And I hope that you start to just notice when you're going into comparison and see that it's creating suffering. Not anything out there that you're comparing with. Not I feel awful because I don't have what they have. You're thinking about that. And literally, that's true because the things out there stay the same and you don't stay feeling the same way about them. Because we just don't. So thank you so much. I'm going to draw this to a close now because it just seems to have come to a beautiful end. So just awareness. It's always just about awareness. Lots of love. Take care. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.